your smile and give it.
Hey, you might go from there.
Yeah, but I didn't want to record yet.
Why am I being so protective? You are too.
Well, good afternoon, guys, and welcome out to our Sea Lion presentation. My name is Sam, and I have the privilege of being your host today. And joining us on stage, we have our lovely trainer, Lisa. And joining Lisa today, we have Maya, our California sea lion. Wow, that was a mouthful. What's going on up there? You don't think you're a sea lion? Okay. Well, if you are so sure that you're not a sea lion, well, I can definitely see that there is some confusion. I mean, California sea lions are not native to Mississippi, right? They're most commonly found along the California coastlines, ranging from all the way up north to British Columbia and all the way south to Baja, Mexico. Maya came to us after stranding multiple times, and sea lions strand for several different reasons, such as food shortages, separations from their mothers, and yes, from hurt flippers as well, Maya. And for those that are able to be nursed back to health, are re-released out into the ocean. And for those that can't, we're adopted out to educational facilities just like I'm a Mess. So let's get back to the matter on hand. If you are so sure that you're not a California sea lion, can you tell us what you could possibly be? Oh, I see. You think you're a big, brown, fuzzy shark. Well, there's several different, there's a lot of holes in that theory. You see, sharks are not fuzzy, and they can't breathe air like what you're doing right now. And since they can't breathe air, they have to remain in the water to survive. And you, my friend, you spend a lot of time out on land, especially sunbathing. So I know for sure you're not a California sea lion, but you know, I'll play along. So, can you try again and tell us what you could possibly be? From this angle over here, those look like tusks hanging from your mouth, so I'm thinking you think you're a walrus. Well, there's plenty of reasons why that is not true, but when you get a moment, or if you have a chance, can you come up front so we could get a better look at you? So now where do I begin? I should address that walruses do not eat their tusks like she just did. In fact, walruses have those tusks because they live in much colder environments. And California sea lions live in much warmer environments, so they don't need those tusks. In fact, a walrus's tusks are their upper canines. And when you open up your mouth, I can't help but notice that all of your teeth are the appropriate size. But speaking of your mouth, though, I noticed that you have whiskers, much like a walrus's whiskers. Walruses have short, dense whiskers, but when you get a chance, could you show yours off? Yours is long, much like a California sea lion's whiskers. But regardless of the size, they use those whiskers or vibrissae for the same purposes. Whiskers are used to detect any vibrations in the water when prey or predator are swimming nearby. And it's a great tool to have just in case the water is a bit murky and hard to see. And then the final reason why I know you're not a walrus is the fact that walruses weigh well over 1,000 pounds. And you, my friend, you barely weigh 100. So you guys both live in totally different areas, and you're nowhere near the same size. So could you tell us what you could possibly be this time? Well, from the way that you're moving, I'm thinking now you're a seal. Well, you're definitely on the right track. Seals are your cousin, but you're still wrong. When you get a moment, can you walk around the exhibit, stretch out your flippers a little bit so we can get a better look on how you move on land? You see, for seals, they lack what's called a rotating hip bone, meaning their hind flippers are always sticking out behind them at all times, and they always have to rely on their stomach muscles. But when you are moving out on land, I can't help but notice that you do have a rotating hip bone, meaning that your hind flippers are tucked underneath your body and walk on all fours, much like how a California sea lions walk. So we went through sharks and walruses and now seals, and you're definitely on the right track. So can you give it another go and tell us what you could possibly be? Oh boy, she thinks she's a dolphin now. I thought we were getting somewhere, Maya, but all right. If you think you're a dolphin, you've been hanging out with them too much lately, huh? Well, if you look behind your body, you probably noticed that you do have flippers. Yeah, what you're tapping right now? But for dolphins, at the end of their body is what we call flukes, and it's a little bit different. But you guys are both able to propel through the water up to 25 miles per hour. But you could only do so because of another adaptation. And that adaptation is on the side of your body, and it's your front flippers. And you could show those off. And not only are they very powerful to propel you through and out of the water, they're also quite strong. They're so strong in the fact that they can lift your entire body weight on those 2 front flippers alone. Why don't you try that out? That's pretty impressive, huh? But I think you're running out of options of what you could possibly be, but you know, I'm a good sport. I'm going to give you a long moment to really think things over. All right, what's the conclusion have you come up to now? You think you're a sea lion trainer. Such a silly sea lion. Okay, well, if you're so sure you're a sea lion trainer, then why don't you teach the audience on how we train our animals? You probably noticed by now we reward our animals using positive reinforcement. So let's say if Lisa did a very good job, what would you give her as a nice big reward? Oh, a nice big fishy sea lion kiss. We definitely love those. However, sometimes we're not always perfect and we might do the incorrect behavior. So Maya, what happens? How do you handle that when trainers do that? Maya, we don't do any spankings here whatsoever. However, we do use operant conditioning, and punishment is definitely a part of that, but a simple no or a timeout will definitely work. But that is just a common misconception that sometimes people make. But you know, I know how to clear this little identity crisis here. You see, sea lions are known for having very flexible necks, and so flexible, in fact, that they can touch their nose all the way to their back. So let's see if she can do it. On the count of 3, we're going to see if her head disappears, and if it does, she's indeed a California sea lion. All right, audience, count with me. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty impressive, right? So it's safe to say that she's indeed a California sea lion, and we definitely helped her out in that. Good job. But we have to celebrate this victory with a nice victory dance. Do you guys want to see Maya dance?
Yes.
All right, Maya, whenever you're ready, bust a flipper. Give it up for some awesome dance moves by Maya. Good job, girl. And sadly, guys, that does conclude our presentation, but we don't leave without saying goodbye to our lovely trainer, Lisa. And also, joining her, Maya, our California sea lion. They'll either continue training on the stage or they might go back into the sea lion house. But before I go, I'd like to turn it back onto you guys and see if you have any questions on what you saw today. You guys have any questions? All right, well, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. I'm going to turn you guys over to your educators. Have a good day.